Hi guys, sorry it's a bit of a late video, but obviously been busy sort of getting back from Sunday, unpacking, other bits and bobs to do. So this is the final one for the mkgp, so I was doing it for the one for the mkgp. What can I say, guys? Silverstone guys, just massive thank you. The work that's gone into that place and how professional it looked, the stand, from everything from the stands to the rostrum to the fencing, just mega. Milton Keynes Shopping Centre, if you've never been there, absolutely huge. I think Puppy measured it on his watch or something, and it was over half a mile just down one corridor. So massive place, great weekend, great racing, top guys in there, super quick guys in there. Obviously Alowski, Craigie, you know, I've forgotten the blooming names, but yeah, all the top guys. So watching them guys go, absolutely brilliant. So just to sort of round up the weekend, truck was mega, absolutely mega. Everyone knows I get a bit of shaky leg now and again, just a bit. But first final, went out and everything was shaking, absolutely everything. Arms, hands. I've never had my hands actually physically shaking to the point where Paul Nutton come up to me and then says, "We could see you shaking from the grandstand," you know. So, but I think I finished first. I think it was Russ. Bush finished 1 second behind me, and then I think it was Dave Williams finished 1 second behind him. So super close. I went clean the whole round, which I needed to. Then guys were pushing very hard. Made a few mistakes, but they got on the back of me because they're pushing hard. But overall, I think because I did what I did and just did my speed, it got me the win, which was mega. Just having that one win and just in the bag was immense, just immense. Round two, same again. Russ made a couple of mistakes behind me. I caught on a few hoses. Just gave me a bit of breathing room, really. And to take it in round leg two, took the win then. I think it was Tom Cockrell on the mic. Massive pressure. Literally, it must have said my name 400 times, it felt like. It was, Kev Jones is here, Kev Jones is there, Russie's on Kev Jones's backside. He's caught another second up on Kev Jones. And it's weird because when you're racing, you sort of, well, definitely me, I was in a bit of a zone. So when somebody shouts your name, you sort of, so I had to try and block that out. And to be honest, like the cameras and the crowd, and I knew obviously all my mates were watching and everybody that knows me were watching, and I blanked them out totally. It just never bothered me. But obviously when you're being called out on the mic, it sort of, God, I'm here, you know. So it's massive. It just doubles the pressure. And to be honest, all I could see was either Russ or Dave Williams, or even Mark Bismere, you know, coming up behind me. So I'm keeping an eye on them, and that's what, you know, the pressure was. I think final one, although I did clip a couple of hoses, I got away with it, but that was probably the hardest race I've ever had, because I knew I had to go absolutely clean and not have a roll, you know, or get hooked on a pipe. I knew I had to go clean, and yeah, I only winning by a second just shows the skill of the guys out there. I mean, there was some real fast guys, you know, they're putting in good times, and like that one mistake and I could have been down to fifth, just on even on a champions roll where you roll back on your wheels, it could have put me down into fifth place. So you know, literally a 2-second crash could have cost me. So that was probably the race that I needed. It was definitely the race I needed to sort of set me up and, you know, get me on the board. The second race was obviously the one that counted. I started in front, but stayed out in front. A few guys reeled me in, but then crashed, obviously pushing very hard to try and catch me back up. So I just kind of did what I normally do and just just carried me flow. I thought if they get right under my back end, I'm going to shove it a bit and push it on. But yeah, they'd get a corner and a half, and then they'd have a roll or a crash. So I just carried on with doing what I was doing because it was working. So yeah, I mean, even that, obviously the pressure of that second race, knowing that if I won it, I then won the championship. Didn't actually sort of come into effect in my head. It was more just, it was like any other race for me. It was just staying ahead of the others, and I was a little bit calmer. I had a little bit shaky leg, but I was a lot calmer, and I think the other guys sort of helped me, making a couple of mistakes. Obviously, they're trying so hard, but making a couple of mistakes just gave me a little bit of room, to finish on. Third race, even though I didn't need it and I'd already won the championship, it was I actually felt, I thought I'd go out and just have a relaxed race and that, but even though I knew I'd already won it, I still got nervous, and it was just like any other race. It could have been exactly the same as the first or second race for me. Once I started on the track, that was it. But obviously, massive result after qualifying. Mark Bismeel, super fast. He found some. I've raced against Mark at Junction 16, and I don't know what happened, but he found some speed for somewhere. Absolutely flying on the day. Mark Williams, never met the guy. Dave Williams, never met the guy, and he just so fast. It was like, where the heck did you come from? Russ Lee, same. And I think, I said to Mark Bismee, I said, it's going to be who's lucky that takes it. And I knew it was one of them where, because it was a tight track and it was very point-to-point racing, I knew it was just who got in the lead. Even if you caught a hose, there wasn't enough room for the other guy to get back. You'd have to actually crash. So I knew making pole was a massive thing. So obviously I made pole, and a couple of corners on the videos I had caught a hose. Cost me like hundredths of a second, but you can see the other trucks catch me just from that hundredths of a second. So massive advantage going off first on that track, definitely. But yeah, super weekend, super relaxed actually, apart from when I was racing. I was quite chilled out. Great guys, everyone seemed happy. Silverstone, just amazing job. I mean, I'm sure they had masses and masses of problems, but as a racer, we didn't see any of them. It just seemed to flow on and flow on and flow on. Next race. So thanks to them guys, for keeping everyone happy. Everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone knew that they were there, and I saw guys that, I think I said in my previous video that, they were quick guys, and I watched them race and they were making like M finals, and you're like, Jesus. And it, that would have been an A final anywhere else. So yeah, massive thanks to everyone that turned up and made the day. Massive thanks to Silverstone. And everybody that helped. I mean, it must have been a massive. Obviously, it was a massive job. Never mind, must have been. It was a massive job to do. So thank you guys, superstars, every one of you, absolute superstars. Obviously, I'm running the what started out to be an ET 410 truck that got converted by myself to a two-wheel drive. To a four-wheel drive short course truck. With the help of Ken Reith at Cobra Racing for the chassis. And then obviously, just because I was booked in already for this event, and I knew how the truck jumped. This truck jumps just phenomenal. Jumps and lands just awesome. And even at a massively low ride height for a truck, the arms are still flat, so we're not, when you lower it, the arms aren't up like this and you've lost all your shock. So we've still got loads of shock travel left, which made all the difference. And considering I've only done, that was my third meeting with it as a two-wheel drive, the truck just knocked out of the park. I think I've done 5 meetings with it. I think I did 2 four-wheel drive meetings, and then I've done 3 now. thingy meetings. But so I haven't really even driven the truck as a 4-wheel drive, never mind a 2. So to go straight out and just smash it out of the park, taking TQ as well, was just mega. So looking forward to this year's short course season. That's coming up in it. First one's in April. So yeah, I've got a short course truck, and you fancy having a race? We do 2 and 4-wheel drive, so it's split. So if you have got one and fancy it, come and have a laugh. It's very relaxed, very chilled out, mostly. Do get people having a shout now and again, including myself. But it's at the end of the day, well, you know, everybody's friends, and we're like one big family. So get yourself a truck, come down, have a race. Short course website is UK Short Course Nationals on Facebook. Have a look on there when the dates are. If you can't do them all, turn up for a couple. You know what I mean? Can't do a couple, turn up for one. Can't do one, come and watch. It's a good laugh. So yeah, just a quick. I can't turn this camera around on my phone, so I'm gonna try and do. So this was the truck. I have my, where's it gone? There, my TQ board here, and my winners board there, and this is mega. I'm trying to get it in the picture. This thing, it's about a monstrous size thing. It's about 10mm thick, and it's made of alley. The guy, I can't remember the guy's name that did them from, but they're stunning. It is really nice piece of work. I'll try and get a better shot there. So really nice piece of work, and although it's aluminium, it weighs a ton. It's a right brick. So yeah, you could almost beat someone to death with that if you wanted to. So but yeah, great, lovely to have. Really proud of it. Obviously, it's biggest meeting I'll ever do as a club mogul racer. You know, I know my limits. I know I'm not going to be a top guy, but I have fun in what I'm doing. I'm sure there's guys out there, if they picked up a short course truck, would absolutely destroy me. You know, I know where I stand. But today, this day, I am champion. So yeah. So yeah, just about sinking in. Just like I said, massive thanks to the missus for letting me go racing, supporting me, having the kids when I go racing, not moaning too much, usually leaving the night before because I can't sleep, leaving her in bed on her own. So massive thank you to her. There's quite a lot of thank yous actually. Gordon Mellish, the camber links were too long on the truck from the camber link hanger, so I needed to shorten them, but there wasn't another hole there to shorten them. But luckily Gordon Mellish, Ian Mellish's dad, one of the top techno drivers in the UK, his dad had actually made one, carbon fibre one with an extra hole. So massive thanks to him, because I think without that part and that moving that one hole, I probably wouldn't have won. It would have definitely been a lot closer, and I might have had to take it to the third leg. But yeah, that part was massive in doing it. Also, Sharif for Meaden Park, because I've got no slipper clutch in the truck, everything's going directly through the wheel, so the slipper clutch isn't taking anything out of it. So I think I used 3 sets of tyres on the day, because it was just eating tyres. Obviously, trying to get, truck's got a 6.5 in it. It runs on buggy electrics because it's a different. I can't think of the word. I didn't say it, did I? No. It's obviously a converted EB410. It's not converted, but they made it. So but the chassis and everything layout's from the EB410, but with longer wishbones. So it runs on buggy electrics rather than the normal 4-wheel drive trucks that run on 1/8 electrics and the 550 motors. So yeah, so obviously we have to just lock the centre, take the shafts out, lock the centre diff up, so it's putting direct power straight to the rear wheels, which makes it fun to drive. Actually drove really well, and you didn't really notice it on the high grip, but it was chewing tyres. So I'd actually had a load of tyres in my bag, I'd used a couple of sets the day before for qualifying in the first 2 heats, and literally ran out of wheels. I'd got tyres, I'd got inserts, and I thought I'd got a load in my box, but they were 0 offset wheels, and I definitely needed +3s on that sort of surface. +3s are +3mm wider for each wheel, so obviously 6mm wider overall, which gives it more stance, a bit more planted. So yeah, massive thanks to Sharif for letting me have some of his wheels. Again, without that, I couldn't have done it. And Sharif's, a competitor. He was a competitor on the day. He runs out of Eden Park, helps run the Eden Park Club. So he was actually fighting against me on the day. So for him to then go and hand me a set of wheels just shows what the truck guys are like. You know what I mean? We always try and help each other out as much as we can. So I'd like to thank obviously Dan Austin, stripped a gear in the rear. Obviously, all that power going through to the rear, put a new set of tyres on, and it took the crown gear out, which never would normally happen because it's never normally 2-wheel drive truck. And obviously there's no slipper, so and obviously I put brand new tyres on the grippiest surface you ever going to run on. But even though it started a third of the way through and got worse, the truck actually made it to the end and actually took a qualifying win with it. So even though it was hurt, it finished, which is mega. So Dan got his hands dirty, put a new pinion gear in it, and I just chucked a new ring gear on the diff, and she went straight back out next run. Sorry, that was the last on the Saturday. So I had a 3 qualifiers on the Friday, and then 3 finals on the Saturday to do. No, I had 3 qualifiers and 3 finals to do on the Saturday. So I got that done last thing, and then ran the 3 finals. So on the next day with it, and it's been fine. So but obviously without Dan and Matt Bridge from RPRC, just I suppose having a bit of belief in what I'd sort of explained I was trying to do, them taking me on board, getting the truck, rebuilding the truck to a short course truck, obviously going over getting Ken Reith at Cobra to build me the chassis I wanted, and talking to him, he was telling me what we had a chat on how the truck was going to ride. So he was telling me what to do then to counteract that. So we came up with this chassis, and chucked it on the truck. Obviously it was 2-wheel drive. We've got no kick up on the front, so I had to put a couple of shims under the front of the diff, front of the gearbox, no diff in the front. That took it all out, just to give me a very little bit. You could only go a couple of mil if that. Before then the bell cranks are hitting the servo, because it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be a 4-wheel drive truck, but as a 4-wheel drive, the thing is immense, absolutely immense. I mean, I know everyone's commenting on the ET410s, the stadium truck version, saying that they absolutely fly. So we've just I'd like to say we've improved it and made a short course truck. I'm sure the stadium truck guys, or the 4-wheel drive stadium truck guys, will disagree, but I mean, as a 4-wheel drive short course truck, it's just immense. It's over a kilogram lighter than a lot of the other 1/8 derived trucks. It's a special truck, and definitely gonna be on it this year for the short course nationals. So as I was saying, massive thanks to Matt Bridge at RPRC and Dan. Every time I've gone to Dan and asked him anything, he's either gone, yes, we know about that, and you need to do this, or you need to do this. Or even if I've gone to him and said, shall I do this, he's gone, no, don't do that. Massive thanks to Matt Bridge, although we don't know it. Obviously on the Sunday I was having a chat, and I wasn't sure that the truck was quick enough, or I wasn't sure if when I was racing it felt like I was slow in certain places, so I was trying to get out. But obviously he can see all the other trucks going around where I can't, and he was going, no, leave it alone, you know what I mean? So that might have been a disastrous thing for me if I had have changed it. So just having Matt there watching the truck and then coming back to me and saying, no, leave it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, do I change it, do I not? Second guessing myself. So, you know, that was a big part of it. And so having that team behind me definitely made it worthwhile. Not worthwhile, but definitely made it so that I won, basically, because I think I would have changed the truck otherwise, which, you know, it might have been better, but it could have been worse. So it was a case of just, you know, he's told me the truck was good enough and just to drive it, so that's what I've done. So yeah, that's about it. It wraps up my run up to the MKGP. I might do one over the next few months for coming up towards the short course nationals, and I might probably do some over the short course nationals. I think that's about it. I've probably forgotten somebody I should have thanked. But I can't remember. So, but if you have helped along the way, thank you, because it's something that I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna treasure for the rest of my life. And it's such a big event. You can say, yeah, I won the short course nationals at the Milton Keynes GP, and you know, everybody knows the Milton Keynes GP by now, because if you're in the RC world in England, or even, you know, a lot of people know it abroad. But if you know the RC, you know, that's a good trophy to win. You know what I mean? Winning something there, winning anything there is always good. Great event, and that's it. So, if you want one of these trucks, get on to Dan Austin, RPRC. If you want to do the conversion, either ask Dan or just hit me up a text. And the parts are very minimal parts to change it to a short course truck. So thanks a lot, guys. So I might do some more videos, may not. Thanks a lot. Cheers, guys. Bye.